Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that I've heard of in automotive, but I've never actually got to see one myself in person. And today we have one here in the shop. We just recently worked on it. And this item is going to be the sunroof next to me that everyone can see is shattered. Now, a lot of you may be thinking, hey Mike, it's a broken sunroof. Who cares? Something hit it and it broke. You may think that, but in reality, nothing touched the sunroof. It just exploded. And this is a issue that is not super common, but it does happen. And as far as right now, there's no real big explanation on there. And we're going to kind of get into this. So to give everyone a little bit of backstory on this came out of a 2011 Honda CR-V. Now, Honda is not the only manufacturer that's having this issue. As a matter of fact, we're going to get into it a little bit later, but there's quite a few manufacturers that have been experiencing this issue. And the issue is basically you're just driving along in your vehicle and out of nowhere, you just have an explosion occur. And from the reports that I've seen about people explaining this, there's a few documented cases online. People explain it kind of like a bomb or a crazy explosion, because let's say you're doing 60-70 miles on the highway and all of a sudden you have a glass panel just erupt. It's going to be very turbulent for a split couple seconds, and I'm sure the decompression, because your car, even though it's not pressurized, there's going to be a pressure differential when you're going on the highway or a road and there's air moving across your car and the air inside your car is stable. There's going to be some sort of effect that is going to scare you. Now, I'm not a scientist or know what these effects are, but people were just basically reporting that they would feel an explosion. They kind of felt a pressure change, and that can lead to, an accident if you're not aware, or, let's just say you get panicked really quick and you just start, overcorrecting your wheel or something. So there's definitely an issue here, because this can potentially be an issue. Now, since it can be an issue, the NHTSA has had a report on this for quite a few years now. They've been gathering data, and they were trying to figure out what was going on, and it's been across multiple manufacturers. I read an older report that said about 4,000 complaints of this happening among 14 or 15 different manufacturers throughout the years. And they investigated all this, and I believe it took something like 7 years, and the investigation finally closed with insufficient evidence as far as the findings, which to me is pretty incredible. Now, from that report, I went ahead and I did a little bit of more digging, and there was some more information that people were saying, and I don't know how true this is, but it makes logical sense. They were saying that the way the glass is formed, since it is tempered glass, if you have some sort of stress in it, and since sunroofs constantly move in and out and they're on a track, you guys can see here that there is a track, it's a frame, and this can bend. It's not just a free piece of glass like it normally would be in your car door, that somehow the tempered glass might have stress in it and just crack depending on the resonance going through it or the vibrations. I mean, again, it's hard to really say, and I don't really know myself, but these are just the working theories of what people were mentioning, what they think it is, and they kind of make sense, but we can't really say that it's gonna be that for sure. Now, I always heard about this. I've never had one in my shop, but clearly this one is in here, and from my customer account, they just said they were driving, doing about 40-50 miles an hour, and out of nowhere they just felt an explosion and the sunroof exploded. Luckily for them, they had the shade drawn on it so the glass didn't enter the car, and then when they realized something had happened, they pulled over and they couldn't figure it out until they looked up and they saw their sunroof had exploded. And the way that it had exploded, and I wish I could have kept it intact to show everyone, I might insert a picture here of an example of the way they explode. But basically, this glass was kind of lifted up, kind of like a mound on dirt. It had a up pitch on there, like a little mound. It almost looked as if someone had taken a baseball and shot it up through the glass from the inside of the car, and it made it out. So it had like a little upward swing, maybe like a little baby volcano, I guess you can say. So to me, it is absolutely crazy, because I mean, I can't imagine driving and having a sunroof explode. That can be quite traumatic. I can see that causing issues. And this is an issue that, like I said, I've heard about it, but up to now, it's just been one of those things that you just heard about it. You never really witnessed one. What are you supposed to do if this were to happen to you? Well, you have a couple choices. When it comes down to sunroof glass, it's not just like a regular window glass where you can just go get it replaced. Typically, you got to buy the whole glass with the frame. I'm going to grab this and hopefully I don't get glass everywhere, but everyone can see that this is a frame where the painted glass is basically attached to. You can see there, and let me see if I could tilt it. Those are the little mounting points where it mounts onto the track of the vehicle. So hopefully everyone has a good idea of how this is sold now. As of right now, the only options you have is basically buying the glass. Now you can go get a new glass from the dealer. It can be quite expensive. I quoted this one out and it was somewhere like $800-900 or something like that, and it wasn't readily available. Then I started sourcing aftermarket ones, and there was nothing really there. I called a couple window shops and they just said, we don't replace the glass, we just replace the whole frame and we can get you a used one. I did a little bit of calling around and I was able to source one, and that's what we wound up doing, and we got it replaced for the vehicle owner. And it wasn't cheap. They're pretty pricey, even aftermarket, a couple $100 for this. I mean, it's not overall bad, but still, it's just something that is just extra and not needed. To me, I never thought that these things exploded, even though I heard the little, tales, I guess you can say, of people saying that they've witnessed it and they've been through it. I always figured that sunroofs were double pane or really thick glass and tempered, so this wouldn't happen, because I know when they make sunroof panels, they have to hold some sort of integrity in case something were to fall in your car. I know there might be a regulation or something regarding that safety point where if, let's say, it starts hailing like crazy, this glass shouldn't just break in an instant. It should be able to withstand some type of abuse. Now, I know it's not going to hold a lot of it, but it should be rated up to a certain amount. It should have some sort of, strong structure with it. But, again, we'll never know. I don't know exactly what caused it to break. It's just, something that happens, I guess. And, it's an issue that people are probably not aware of. And I wanted to take the time to make this video to just show everyone that this is a possibility. So if you're driving and you feel an explosion, happening, or like a rapid kind of decompression in a way, you may want to just pull over safely and check your sunroof. And if your visor on your sunroof is closed, definitely don't open it right afterwards, because you can get raining glass all over you. So just be careful. This is kind of like my public PSA, I guess you can say, that if this ever happens to you, just be careful so you don't take a bad situation and make it worse for you, because you still technically have to drive the car and do a bunch of cleanup. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, because it definitely helps the channel grow. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next video.